What's good? You probably came across a piece of content or saw an ad talking about how it can help you grow your brand and be a more powerful creator, with the promise that I can help you achieve the same results that I did all these other people. I work with successful entrepreneurs, online coaches, and impact-driven creators to streamline their podcast creation process so the content that you create is high quality, captures your brand ethos and who you are, and makes the best parts of you shine, all while being easy to execute and save time. How's that sound? You've probably noticed some of the best thought leaders in your industry, those that you listen to, you admire. Maybe they're your friends, maybe they're your peers, maybe your clients. They've all invested in their personal brand by launching a podcast. And you want to know, with everything going on in their life, how in the world did they make that happen so that you can too? Stick around, because what I'm going to do is tell you my story, as well as how creating podcasts can drastically impact your business. But first, I'm going to give you exactly what you came here for. Let's dive into the pro's guide for starting strong. And I'm going to break this down 3 ways. Number 1, we're going to dive into the process. What I'm going to do is pop open my hood and show you the exact process that I've used to publish over 1,000 podcast episodes. Number 2, we're going to get into the mindset, how to think about podcasting so that you can come from a position of strength and growth. And number 3, what we're going to do is debunk some of the common myths and questions that you might have on your mind, the things that are stopping most people from actually making it happen, so that you aren't one of them and you're someone who lives in action. Let's start with the process that I use every single time to create every single podcast episode. And it is oh so easy. And I'm going to start at the very beginning, and I'm going to share my screen. So the first thing is about ideation, because I know so many people, one of the things on their mind is, what in the world do I talk about? Well, the best thing that you can do is to have a list of ideas of things that you talk about. And I've got 2 different options to show you what I'm doing in real time. Right here are some podcast ideas that I have. As you can see, there's 5 of them. When all of a sudden I have an idea, I throw it into this document. I choose one, boom. When I'm done, I write down done. The other option that I have is I'll set a timer for 15 minutes and write down as many ideas as I have for things that I'm excited about, or that I know about, or that I can talk about effortlessly. And boom, you can see here, I've got a list of these. So what you do next is you just say, all right, what do I want to start with? And then what's next? And what's next? And you just pick each one of these every step of the way. It is so simple and so formulaic, and you will never run out of ideas. I promise you on that, I never have. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a podcast script. And the key for this is that there is freedom in structure. I get it. You don't want to be put into a box, and you want to be creative, in flow, have this be part of who you are. I'm the same way. But we know, in the name of consistency in hitting our marks so that we can design this effectively, we want to write some simple bullet points so we know where we're going. I can promise you this: the episodes you record where you write a script are always better than if you just try and wing it without a script. I've done this enough times. I know from experience, just writing it down will set you up in a position to succeed. So I'm going to share my screen again with you, and I'm going to show you 2 different options. All right. On the left here is an option where I recorded a solo episode, and this is exactly the script that I used. You can see right here, here is my intro. Welcome to Built for the Game, where we talk about how to be your best, do what you love, and show up powerfully. I'm Rob Cressy. And then for me, I just like to think about the quick bullet points. I'm not looking to write everything word for word. So, how to overcome the fear of putting yourself out there. Boom, 2 bullet points. Then I break it down into 3 areas: vision, awareness, and taking action. And then down here, hey, this is me living in an action. Here's how I've done it, by jumping into the deep end. And then here's 3 different examples. So with that, very easily, I can just go beat, talk about it, in and out. That episode probably took 5 minutes or less. On the right here, you're going to see an episode where I had a guest on. Once again, there's my intro. Here's who I am. Here's my guest. And at the beginning, I had 4 things that I wanted to make sure that we talked about in terms of a theme. Just little reminders. And we really got to 3 things: holistic success, self-awareness, and the power of visualization. All nice and simple. And then as they were talking, I was just taking notes to make sure I knew where they were going. That is my script. It's not hard. It does not take long, but we know where we are going. All right. So once we've got our ideas and once we've got our script, what you want to do next is just press record. So how in the world can you do this? Early on when I started, I used Zoom. Why? Super simple and very cost effective. You can get the pro version for like $12 a month or something. That'll give you unlimited talk time. As you want to do more things creatively, maybe you want to bring in guests or live stream or have graphics, there's other options that you can do. Right now, I'm using Ecamm Live. There's some streaming platforms like StreamYard or Riverside. There's tons of them. I can share those resources with you. But the recording part is so easy. All you do is push a button, press record, and then it records you talking just like this. Now it's time to edit your podcast episode. And this is oh so simple, even if you have no experience whatsoever with editing. Because here's all I do. I chop out the dead air at the beginning and the dead air at the end, and I export it. Total time this takes me, less than 5 minutes. If you have no idea what you're doing, that's actually okay, because all you have to do is watch a 5-minute or less video that says, this is what I do to chop this off. Editing is so simple. It does not take time. You don't need to be taking out the ahs and ums and all of that. Throw that in the trash. Not necessary. So now that we've got our ideas and our script and we recorded it and we've edited it, now it's time for our show notes. So what I'm going to do now is share my screen again with you and show you exactly what I'm using on my end. Here's an example. It's just a document here. So you'll see the title, courses, Coaching Courses and Accountability with Josh Thomas, quick little description, and then some social contact information, rinse and repeat. And every time I just copy it, paste it, change it, copy, paste it, change it, copy, paste it, change it. This is ongoing. So you can see here, there is 411 pages of me doing this, the exact same process over and over and over again. So doing this might take 2 minutes. Create a title, create 3 bullet points about what this show is about. There's your show notes. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to upload this to our podcast hosting provider. I'm going to share my screen again. As you can see right here, I'm using Buzzsprout. All you have to do, drag or click your audio, put it right here, boom, nice and simple, set it and forget it. That is the entire podcast process for how I create one episode perfectly every single time. And it's why our program is called One Perfect Podcast, because you do the same thing over and over and over again to get the same desired result that you're looking for. Let's get to the mindset for starting strong. And what I'm going to do is share with you 5 foundational mindsets that'll put you in a position to succeed. Number 1, we are playing offense. This is about growth and building your brand. A scarcity mindset has no place in anything that you are creating with this, because this is a place where you want to go to grow, where you can create more of what you want in your life. Number 2, this should be fun. This is not a have to do. This is a get to do. And when you're doing this correctly, podcasting is something that creates more flow and excitement and creativity and joy in your life. Because you might be envisioning something like this in your head, where you're stepping up to a microphone, sharing ideas or knowledge that you have, or having conversations with amazing people and you're helping other people in the process. And all along the way, yeah, it grows your brand, but it also helps you grow your business as well. Because if you're someone who wants to create more impact in the world, this is one of the ways that you can do that. And I'm someone who has done this over 1,000 times, and I wouldn't be doing this unless this is fun. So know that on the other side of this is a whole lot of fun for you. Number 3, podcasting is a skill. You are learning to be an expert content creator. And this is something that you're going to have with you forever. And this is an absolute game changer. And this is something that transfers to all other ways of creating content because it's a systematic way of thinking and producing content based on the ideas and knowledge that you have. At the same time, you're going to learn to be a more eloquent speaker, more engaging, and more fluid. Plus, the more you do this, the better you get. Number 4, consistency is key. I get it. You live a full life. You don't want to overextend yourself, and you want this to be fun and easy and something that serves you. Great. The way that we do this is by building in a consistency practice, and we're going to design that from the start. That's why my program is called One Perfect Podcast, because how have I published 1,000 episodes? By doing the same thing 1,000 times. The process removes the uncertainty because consistency is key. And number 5, this is a tool in your creator tool belt. And I encourage you to look at podcasting as a new platform for yourself. Previously, the audio version of you was a 0. Now it's a 1, and you get to bring it to life. And for your audience, this is an opportunity for them to connect with you while they're at the gym, walking their dog, in the car. And this is an opportunity for you to allow your brand heartbeat to shine and grow your brand with them, where they become a fan of you because you are a part of their life. At the same time, this is a tool belt for your guests. It's an immediate authority boost for you. When you've got this platform, you have carte blanche to invite anybody that you want onto your show. Immediately, that elevates you into a position of authority. And guess what? Everybody loves to talk about themselves. So by bringing guests on your show, man, it is going to be such an easy and fruitful thing. And you can essentially bring on anyone that you want. And if you're someone who wants to do a solo episode, even better. This is an opportunity for you to take what's in your mind and get it out into the world. What we're going to do now is debunk some myths and answer some common questions that you have. And I've got 5 of them for you. Number 1, why would anybody care about what I have to say? And this is probably the most common thing I hear over and over again. And if you have something inside of you that can help even one person, it is your duty to share it with the world. So I encourage you to remove that scarcity mindset and throw that in the trash. Because another thing we hear about this is, Rob, there's millions of podcasts out there. I don't just want to do like everybody else does. Well, guess what? There is not a podcast from you, from your voice, with your perspective and your experience and your knowledge. I'm telling you, the world needs to hear more from you. Number 2, I don't know what to say, or I will run out of ideas. I encourage you, also throw this in the trash, because the idea and the ideas of this is the easy part. There's literally endless ideas. In doing this for almost a decade, I have never run out of ideas. I've never run into a single client who has hit me up and said, Rob, I have run out of ideas. The reality is you have so many ideas that you're excited about that you're going to want to keep creating more and more and more and more. So the fact that I don't know what to talk about, that is definitely not a problem. So throw that in the trash. Number 3, I need a lot of expensive equipment and podcasting costs a lot. That is false. So let me break this down. There is really only one thing that you actually need for podcasting, and that's a microphone. And the reason for that is we want to get you to a certain level of quality so that you sound good for your audience, because everything you do is a reflection of your brand. This doesn't mean it has to cost a ton. We're just saying we want to get you from 0 to 1. Traditionally, you can have a budget of anywhere from $50 to $500, depending on how much you want to spend. And of course, I will be emailing you a guide with all of the equipment that I use so that you can just say, hey, here's my budget. I'm going to pick out what I want to do based on that. The next thing is all the other equipment, that's not necessary. Over the course of your journey in being a master creator, you will slowly start adding things like camera, lights, and all these other tools. Don't worry about that right now. Crawl, walk, run. We want to build that solid foundation for you, and know that the only barrier to entry, it's not even one, is going ahead and getting a microphone. So the next thing I want to do is sort of help you understand the actual costs of this, because a lot of people are like, how expensive this is going to be? And the answer is not at all. So number one, you're going to get a podcast hosting platform. All that is a subscription service you sign up for. It's about $15 a month. It allows you to upload your podcasts. It gets sent everywhere: iTunes, Spotify, Google Play. Number two, an editing program. This can cost $15 a month. I use Descript, or you might use the Adobe Creative Suite. For some people, it's going to be $0 because you use GarageBand or something already on your computer. Number three, you've got Zoom. For recording it, Zoom's like $12 a month. It's the easiest thing in the world. Of course, there are streaming services that cost $40 or $50 a month that you can sign up for that allow you to do things in HD, bring in more graphics or guests. But on the high end, you're only looking at about $50 a month. All totaled, from low end to high end, you're really looking at $40 to $90 a month to host a podcast, to do everything. And from an equipment standpoint, it can be as low as $50 for just a microphone, all the way up to $2,500 if you want to build out a studio. Once again, I'll send you all the information you need for that so that you don't got to do the digging. The next thing, I don't like what I sound like, or I don't like what I look like on camera. Welcome to the club. We all started at 0, and the entry point into this game is you've got to get over this perceived self-limitation. Because if you're going to allow not liking what you sound like to stop you from making this happen, then this probably isn't for you. Because the way that you're going to get more comfortable with this is by doing this more. Just like riding a bike. The more you ride a bike, the better you get. The more that you speak on microphone or camera, the better and more comfortable you're going to get. And of course, there's tons of tips I can give you for that. But I encourage you to not allow not liking what you sound like to stop you from making this happen, because the focus is misplaced. I would encourage you to think about why you want to do this, the positive results that you're going to receive, not the reasons why you should not do this. And number 5, time scarcity or time delay. And let's start with time scarcity. What this sounds like is, I don't have enough time, or now is not the right time. Please throw that in the trash, because time is not the problem. Once again, this is a growth platform. You don't have time to grow? What we're going to do is design a podcast in a way that works for your schedule and the time that you have available. Because here's the reality of the situation. Creating a podcast and publishing episodes consistently takes a lot less time than you think. You just haven't gotten to the point yet where you can experience it. And for me, I spend less than an hour a week on my podcast. So time is certainly not an issue for making this happen. And when it comes to launching your podcast, if you're committed and you know what you're doing, it can be done in less than 2 hours. The majority of the people, including the people that I work with, we definitely get it done in less than 30 days. And we do so easily because we understand we live full lives. We run businesses. We have families. So we're creating ease and flow in a system to allow that to happen so that we can be supported. And then number 2 is time delay. I need to do more research, or analysis by paralysis, or I am a perfectionist. I would love for you to throw all of that in the trash, because you are being your own time delay. And what I want you to do is to get into the game. So many people love the idea of podcasting, or who have thought about it for so long. But guess what? They're just sitting there on the sidelines, not actually creating the thing that they would love to do. Instead, I encourage you to live in action and anchor in that positive outcome of what you want to create. And the reason that you are here right now is because there's something inside of you that says, this is for me. So stop delaying, lean into your intuition, and make it happen. Because I can tell you, when you do, amazing things are on the horizon. You don't need to sound like Joe Rogan after the first episode. I promise you, the more you do this, the better you will get. So stop delaying time and start living in action. Okay, now a little bit about me. I'm a creator's coach, and I specialize in helping people create more of what they want in their life. And I think back to the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey, where a mentor said to me, Rob, if you ever hope to get paid to do what you love, you better be doing it already. I wanted to get paid to talk about sports for a living, so I taught myself podcasting, audio, video editing, being a host, and being on camera, because I saw achieving my dreams on the other side of learning how to do them. So I ran that process over and over and over again to the tune of over 1,000 times. And eventually, I started to get hired to be the host of shows, as well as create my own podcasts. And over that time, my network said, hey, Rob, I would love for you to show me how you're doing what you're doing. So that's when I reverse engineered my entire process and said, hey, here's how you can launch a podcast and create high quality content that creates impact, grows your brand, and ultimately builds your business. And that is the process that I'm sharing with you today. So here's how this works. I created an online course that'll take you step by step through each stage of the podcast launch process, building that consistency process in that system for you to take you from zero to launching your podcast in 30 days or less through a series of 3 to 5 minute short form videos that are easy to execute. That way, there is no uncertainty. You know exactly what to do, from naming your show to creating ideas to the equipment to writing your script to how do I get my show on iTunes or Spotify to what is my launch strategy. Because by the end of this, you will have a successful podcast that you are proud of. But more importantly, you're creating high quality content that creates impact in the world and grows your brand, and you see the same results that some of our other clients are consistently seeing. If you want to grow your brand and create positive impact in the world, this is the sign that you've been looking for. One perfect podcast will help your voice shine so you can create that high quality content, so you can grow your business, and you can have it be easy and fun. We would love to have you join us. Just click the link below, and we look forward to seeing you soon.